start bringing the rest of the world down to their level. They really feel so outside. Well, again, this isn't even close.
Hi, folks. This is Peter Boykin. Hashtag Go Right and the Triad Patriots here, participating in the worldwide freedom rally. When I first got here, it was supposed to be 1 to 5, and let you know a little bit of story behind this. Someone from Freedom 515 had reached out to me and said, "Hey, there's a rally." I put the information out, and then someone else contacted me from the Worldwide Freedom Rally and stated there's a big rally going on across the United States and the world, and just happens to be an anti-COVID rally. But the message is to have the left, the right, the middle to come together in unity against hate and hate-filled agendas and control from the world. So I found out that the original people stepped out. For some reason, the lady stopped. So I got a permit to come here and make sure the event happened. Now, when I got here at 1 o'clock, we did not have a lot of people here. Actually, nobody here. I've set up the speaker system, and now a crowd of people here. There is an Antifa rally that I'm going to walk towards. Yes, it's a little dangerous. I'm going to walk towards and let y'all see what's going on. So you can see we have a setup here. Have the microphone set up. And we have a small amount of people here. Thank y'all for turning out. I'm going to walk down here so I can get Antifa on camera. They love that. I'll be back. Let's see here, folks. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, maybe 25.
I love that you're so scared that you're walking towards the stick, but then again, we all know that you fucked them down.
Y'all do realize our rally is not a left or a right rally, right? You do realize that y'all represent hate. Yeah, that's fine. I can hear y'all. That's nice. You're a racist. Look, there's like 25, 30 white people there. Wow. Anti-white people who are racist against themselves. The one person of color is sitting down. Yeah. This is what we're fighting against, America. Racism, hate, individuals that don't know they're lost. We have a freedom rally over here full of regular American citizens. This is hate. They wear black. They think that this is a Trump rally that we're having. They're yelling and cussing at people as they come by. This is the representation of the American that needs to stay at home.
You were probably bullied and stuff for looking really small, weren't you? Don't they probably swallowed your teeth when they fell out?
To defend freedom, we cannot tolerate the intolerance. Bash the fash with communism, and Trump lost LOL. So much individuals who want to start things.
You're muttering.
You may have maybe all talk the same way.
Project your voice.
Take a deep breath and
Oh, Lord. Look, this guy's got a Deaf to America sign. They're wonderful American people.
America.
Oh, yeah. How much is Soros paying you? Sure, hon.
Hey, buddy, go bring your friend's American flag over so we can burn it.
I think you can burn that one right there. You've got enough flags.
In fact, you gotta bring a friend over here so we can.
I don't even need television. I could just watch Antifa TV all day long. They're so funny. This is Antifa. These people are comedians.
You just call us crackers?
I think so. There are 30 white people over there who are calling us crackers.
Tanner than any of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a tan out here. The only person I see of color is sitting on his ass, staring at us. You've literally got a blonde woman right here who's talking about anti-cracker. She's a blonde white woman. That's nice, whatever. Oh, wait a minute. Does your white privilege allow you to take today off? Why are you white privileged? Why do you have such white privilege that you can wear black clothing and come out here? I didn't know Black Lives Matter was here. Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. Black Lives Matter! Yeah! Black Lives Matter! Come on! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives. We're on the same side now.
I like black people.
I like black people too. My husband is black. His life matters. Y'all are my audience. You're talking to me. Why are you homophobic? Why are you homophobic? Why are you homophobic? You're homophobic, racist, white privileged, anti-black. Where's your black people? How come you didn't invite any black people to your event? Yeah, okay, fine. Then I can be homophobic too, right? I'm gay, right? Yeah. Okay. Yay, we agree on something. We both hate gays. Yay! Yeah, I'm gay. I'm the creator of Gays for Trump. This is fun. This is fun. Oh, I love Antifa. They're so funny. And the cops get paid to watch us. They've got the best job. Thank you for your service, guys. Thank you for your service, guys. Y'all get paid to watch the show. I love it. Hey, no Proud Boys are coming today. I think y'all can go home. No Proud Boys, no Antifa. You know, well, y'all are Antifa. No Proud Boys are coming today, so y'all can go home. Really? You are dressed like shit. You are literally dressed like shit. You're wearing all black. Isn't it hot? Isn't it hot for you right now? Because wearing black in summertime is kind of a no-no. No one told them they can't be white after Labor Day.
You started Gays for Trump?
Yeah, I started Gays. Yeah, that's what they do. It's hilarious. The only colors that matter is red, white, and blue. Thank you. Look at this lady. She's like, whatever. Oh.
You don't want to walk, get on all fours, crawl forward a bit, and lay down.
They actually think they're funny. Well, they kind of are funny. When I was over there talking to a black lady, it was just me and another lady. They were like, all four of you in your rally. I'm like going, there's only two people here. What are you talking about? And this literally is supposed to be an anti-COVID restriction rally that says we like Triad Patriots that I created. Triad Patriots, that actually has nothing to do with the Triad, but it's weird. So I saw that on the flyer. So you know, people were griping about it. And that's about not. I'm like, it's not a Nazi symbol. You know, I'm like,
The colonizers.
I mean, if it was gay Nazis, I might like it because there'd be a bunch of hot blonde twinks coming to a party. It wouldn't be so bad, you know. But it's not a gay Nazi party, and it's not a symbol. It's about nuts. Apparently, it turned around the upside down. My designer didn't realize it. We just saw an attorney triangle, and it worked perfectly. So everybody's like, it's a nut. I'm like, well, that's not even a Nazi symbol. That's the symbol of Odin or something. It means earth, wind, and fire. So I guess they're gonna go back to the 70s, and earth, wind, and fire are anti, you know, they're fascist group. Is Earth, Wind, and Fire a fascist group now? Is the 70s fascist? They should wear bell bottoms. That'd be funnier. I'm so glad that I'm spending the left's money. I am so glad that I am spending Soros's money today. Look at all these 30 fascists over here. Look at these people that hate free speech. This guy's got a pretty cool t-shirt. It says Trump lost, get over it, no break. I mean, I could say that. I mean, we got, yeah. Hey, where did you learn about your job? On Craigslist? I mean, I've got a couple of black shirts. I've got a couple of black shirts at home. I can join your ranks, right?
You're going to the cockpit, honky. We're talking you right
Look at
now.
these. Look at these races. Look at these races. We're here until 5 or 6 or whatever today, so you know. Hello, they call me a honky. Only my husband, which is black, can call me a honky. Yeah, because my husband is actually working. Y'all should go and try to work. You should actually work. You should work for a living. Go to work instead of, well, wait a minute, y'all are working. Antifa is being paid by Soros. Antifa is being paid by Soros. Love it. So hilarious. Yeah, okay. Whatever.
Hey, Cracker, how old are you? Hey, Mayo Sapien, I'm talking to you. Look at your elders, please speak to you. How old are you? Hey, Snow Roach, address your superiors when they're talking to you. How old are you? Look up, Neanderthal, I'm talking to you. Yeah, you suck at licking boots, too. Cracker, how old are you? Come on. Look up when your elders are addressing you. Question, Cracker. I'm sure even you can count. How old are you? Let's see, a 1, a 2. What comes next? I forget. How are you the type of person to say age is just a number? You don't even know your own age. Seriously, Cracker, just tell us how old you are. It ain't that hard. Being gay doesn't mean you should be able to hate black people, you fucking bigot.
All right, guys, we're going to go and actually have a rally. We're going to ignore the hate. Oh, Lord. Oh, man. These people are hilarious.
You're gonna shit it. You're gonna shit it.
They're fucking nuts. Oh my God, they're nuts. They're fucking hilarious. I mean, I could stand there all day, but I got a rally to run here. That is. Oh, I think I hurt their feelings. Oh my God. Hey, how's it going? How's it going? God forbid a gay Republican's here, you know?
Been a little while, but good to see you.
I'm gonna start this off. I guess it's kind of funny. You. Hello. USA! 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 Welcome to the Worldwide Freedom Rally, a nonpartisan rally, even though those people over there think that we're all on one side, which, you know, we might be, but who knows? We got a 45-year-old Republican here. See, I made you younger already. We've got a dog here that votes Republican. But wait a minute, I thought dogs were supposed to vote Democrat. He's so cute. So, the Worldwide Rally for Freedom press release said on Saturday, the May 15th, the worldwide demonstration will return bigger and better than ever before. We're doing pretty good right now. It's over 40 countries around the world. People are going to be marching for freedom, for peace, and the human rights, and apparently pissing off the Antifa, which is always great, and spending their money. Now, the objectives of the protest was that lockdowns and border closures have taken lives to increase suicide rates and destroyed livelihoods, causing financial ruin. Now, no population should ever again be subjected to the ubiquitous public incarceration, which is what we've had to deal with. Excessive coronavirus restriction measures must come to an end, and all state and emergency declarations enabling these measures must be repealed. Now, we have heard that changes come as of yesterday, but we hope that it will continue on and then we can reopen. Now we have to push for businesses. Now we have to push for businesses to take those signs down. I've heard that Walmart has said they're going to take them down. That's a huge thing for us. Publix, that's good too. I hate Publix, but that's great. Well, I like that Food Lion never closed early. They've always been open till 11. They haven't changed their hours. They've been great. Definitely for the ones who had the elderly where you can shop during the morning time. That's been wonderful, except for an hour really isn't a long enough time. 4 hours, you know. Let's see. It says typical suppression of dissenting voices must be stopped, and peaceful citizen assembly must be respected by the police forces instead of being violently crushed. We've accomplished that. The police are here to help us. I've never really had too much problem. But in other countries, we have to realize that the police aren't so much their friends. You know, honestly, they've seen some bad things happen. We have had our bodily autonomy violated by mask mandates, restricting our ability to breathe and speak freely. All mask mandates must end. So they say they're going to end, they need to end. Like, I'm still seeing people wearing masks, and they haven't changed it. They're still enforced, even though the governor said it, even the so-called president has said it. I mean, I had to work out at Planet Fitness with a mask on. I thought I was going to die. Now, plans to mandate coronavirus vaccines enforced by the totalitarian vaccine passports are being ruled out internationally. Here in North Carolina, they've done their best to, thank God we have a, it's a good thing we do have a right-leaning Congress here that has passed rules to say we should not have vaccine passports. Vaccine passports are very dangerous. We're not going to accept movement licenses becoming a part of travel requirements. I'm not a super religious person, but I think the Bible says something about the mark of the beast. And we want to make sure that, you know, this doesn't skew on that, where they're telling us where we can go, what we can do, you know, unless we prove our passport. It's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. Some people say Social Security cards are, but that's a United States thing. We're talking about the whole world now, you know. They want us to have these passports. It's none of their business if I put a vaccine in. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. Yeah, there's a lot of people with some. My dad's been acting weird ever since he got his. Yeah, nanite technology has gotten really good. The sad thing is, it can spread. They can give it to you, and then they can make it spread, and then yeah.
They've made cells that are computer derived that now are cell divided, and that is what they're using. So it's part biological, and so this computer derived cell is integrated with humanity. That is what happens.
Yeah, that's what I talk about. The new so-called thing going to survive, help us. In fact, they're going to become viruses themselves as they just spread out.
I think that's part of the more than long term.
I tell you, before coronavirus, I had a young Chinese doctor who was in my car. She told me before anything, and we were talking about the vaping issue, where people were dying of the vaping. You know, I mean, they almost banned vaping. So she told me she was up here at Duke. That means Duke knew about this a long time ago, and that there's SARS-related disease was coming back, and it was very deadly, and it caused the deaths of some college students about 2 years previous. I didn't put two and two together, but during that time is when they were protesting the colleges in China. So they unleashed that on their students, more than likely. 10 doctor friends died of hers until they were able to so-called contain it, and they were afraid of it coming back. They were sent to Duke. She was sent to Duke to try to analyze it to make sure that it didn't happen. Then right afterwards, that's when coronavirus came. Now, I discredit it because she told me at the time she thought they got it from eating small animals. And sadly, I'm thinking, you know, oh, that's what you get when eating dogs and cats, you know? So I was like, I didn't think about it until it happened. And so another Chinese girl who was in my car at the time, because I was doing Uber, she stated that they had sealed up most of the areas, and they took anybody who was infected and put them in camps. And I was like death camps? She's like, yeah. In China, they were putting people basically in death camps, not even treating. Yeah. Yeah. So 25 million cell phones disappeared. People were dying. People were dying. And my other half told me that they moved. Well, my other half did. They moved incinerators to the middle of the city. They caused a major holocaust of Chinese citizens. And okay, yeah, it's fine. Look at the fascist. Everybody say hi to the fascist that walked by. Say hi to the fascist. Still wearing his mask even though he doesn't have to. Hey, you're wearing a mask. Does that mean you're a Republican? People who wear masks now are Republicans. I think it's all confusing now. At least David Hogg said he's wearing a mask because he doesn't want to be. He wants to be considered non-conservative.
I am a Republican.
It's so confusing. Would anybody like to talk? I have this mic open. If anybody wants to speak about what they've got going on or had going on during this whole coronavirus crisis, you're welcome to come and speak. If you have any kind of event coming up or organization that you follow or anything like that, you can come up here and talk. It's here, and the mic is open.
Open air time?
Yeah, there you go.
All right, I got a cause.
There you go.
How are we doing? You can hear me good? Yeah, you can hear me now. Better? Oh, yeah. I didn't want to get...
It's brand new.
This was totally unplanned, but the guy says he got a lot of open mic time.
Yep.
And they got a willing audience. I can see friendly people.
Yeah, I like to release the Kraken shirt.
And that's also one of my causes. But the Convention of States, has anybody heard of it?
What?
Convention of States.
Nobody? All right. So here's the spiel. As long as you all got some time.
Got plenty.
Make it loud.
Yes.
Oh, watch out.
Article 5
Scooter
of
people.
the Constitution provided for an alternative way to create amendments to the Constitution. And the traditional way is always having Congress come up with some brainstorm idea via the people. And then it goes, yeah, the corporation, exactly. Yeah, little did we know, right? Those other people. And they come up with ideas for amendments. They got a lot of good ones, a couple of losers, but we got a lot of worthwhile amendments, I would say. And that's the way it happened. And it goes back to the state legislatures. They vote on it. Every state votes individually. And if 38 of those states think it's a good idea, we have a new amendment. That's the way it's been working for a lot of years. And although there is an alternative method, it's in the Constitution, few people really know about it, and it's never been used. Instead of Congress coming up with the ideas, the people can suggest ideas. That is through your state legislature. What we've got in mind, Convention of States is an organization that we've been working at this for, I don't know, 5-6 years at least, and trying to get this approved in different state legislatures, where they will call a convention, representatives from every state will get together and suggest possible amendments. Now, with our organization, it is restricted to just 3 different themes. One, term limits. Most people think that's a good idea. The second topic is fiscal responsibility in the federal government. Most people would agree that that's a good idea. The third one is a little broader in scope. It says reduce the size and scope of the federal government. It's a little more vague, but a lot of good things could fall into that. And so we have 15 states so far that have approved the application. We have to have 34 in order to call a convention. 15 are done. North Carolina, Wisconsin, and South Carolina are halfway there. We have just passed it just a couple weeks ago in the North Carolina House, the Assembly, General Assembly House. They passed it. Now it has to go to the state Senate to be approved. And we're hoping that'll happen very soon. And once that happens, then North Carolina will join the number 16. And this goes progressing state by state. When we get 34, there will be a convention. And it's a very long-term, drawn-out project. But it's cautious. I mean, you're not going to just throw out some amendment to the wind, you know. This is a very
Watch out, guys. Let them come through.
well-organized process.
Gangway. Those are cool. It's better than segways. No, they're gone. They only paid them for an hour. Or they're on their lunch break because, you know, they're lazy.
All right, so we're going to get this thing done. I'll tell you what we need you for. Call your legislators, particularly your senators right now. You say, please support Convention of States. And if you want to know more about it, I do have a card or two in my pocket. Now, if you look on that card, I'm sorry I don't have any more with me, but right. So if you use your smartphone and use that QR code, it'll bring you right to the website. And once there, it very clearly and quickly will educate you about the whole thing. Everything I said, perhaps said a little better. I'm kind of winging it this morning today. But so you go to conventionofstates.com and learn all about it. I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, it's a networking event, so network as much as you can with individuals. I'm glad we have a decent turnout. I think this is a decent turnout. We let's see, I about as many people as Antifa came out, and they went home because they wanted to engage with me, and that's what I did. I engaged with them a little bit, and then I ignored them and they went home. I told them Proud Boys wasn't here, so they had to leave. They only get paid that extra money if they think Proud Boys is here. Ain't nobody here, any extremist group. They're just regular people, tired of the mess. Now, for those of you who don't know who I am, shameless plug, I'm possibly running for U.S. Congress. Both my previous Congress people, because they move the districts all the time, are both Ted Budd and Mark Walker, who are both running for senator. So the ability to run is now open. There's probably going to be a large field of individuals. And honestly, I don't even know the districts. The whole point about districts now is with the census, they won't know anything until almost the end of the year when you actually have to file. So you can't even register under a district right now. So I've got like 9 or 10 counties that I have to show myself at and get the word out. But I am poor like everybody else, dealing with the issues of coronavirus, struggling, unemployed most of the time. A lot of, especially after the election, or the tragedy or whatever we had, a lot of people don't want to vote. A lot of people don't want to vote because they're tired of both right and left politicians who don't really understand what's really going on in America. Yeah. I was there January 6th. I went there to document, and at times, and to be honest, it did look like a crazy redneck trailer park threw up in most places. Sorry, but it was some extreme stuff going on. But what the cameras won't show is hundreds of thousands, if not 1 million people were there. Mostly peaceful protesters who did not destroy anything. Hey, how's it going? Would you like to interview little Chow Chow? Hey, how's it going?
Freedom, and he wants to keep it.
Oh, you look like a little lion. You're like a little lion. You're so cute.
Yeah, we're not going to touch you by Chow Chow.
Yeah, chows are a little. We had a chow. But we had on January 6th, there was a handful of people who were extreme. A handful. And most of those people were probably Antifa, honestly. I've seen the videos. I've seen somebody handing weapons from inside to the people outside. I've seen the videos yelling at the people saying, do not break the windows. Do not do what they're doing. I saw a guy who passed me, and pardon my French, but I won't say it. He said, you P-words or whatever, get up there. I'm looking at you. They were trying to drive people to go and do stuff that they shouldn't be doing. I saw people climbing trees, climbing scaffolding, You know, just craziness. Then I saw the front of the Capitol building where everybody was pretty much calm. I don't think a lot of the stuff really happened until after the individual got shot inside it, and that's when kind of things went loose. Because they sent us a text telling we had to get out of town too. That we had a once that happened, we had a text on our phone that said DC was shutting down. Get out. People freaked out. I left. Yeah. So, but it's sad. Yeah. Yeah. Nobody. Well, yeah. She's the only one who got shot. That's the only blood that was shed by them who shot our person. If that person's our person, I don't know. That's a whole nother conspiracy theory. But one individual got trampled to death. One person had a stroke. The other one had a heart attack, apparently tased themselves by accident. Sounds like something I would do. There you go. Yay! And I think the officer died a couple of days later of a brain aneurysm or something like that. It really was unrelated. But they keep saying deadly, deadly, deadly. Yeah, they keep saying deadly, deadly, deadly. Like we were going and killing people. Do you realize they didn't do anything to this Capitol building because what, an hour later, after everybody cleared out, they were able to go back to session again. We didn't destroy anything. They didn't do anything.
But hey, Cooper, we're watching you.
Oh, yeah.
We're watching you, man.
Hey, Cooper, are you in there wearing a mask?
That's getting the Illuminati out. Yeah, we're watching you.
I think he's in there wearing a mask. Probably.
Right? We're watching all these people now. You know, we weren't before. Where the plane was on autopilot. Let me tell you, man, we rushed the cockpit. We the people taking over. We're not on autopilot.
Oh, yeah.
We're running the show.
You want to talk?
These people work for us. That's all right. I usually run my mouth at these things.
I'm glad we got a good little crowd. I mean, this is something that we needed. I mean, a lot of people were scared after January 6th to come out because they were afraid of the FBI arresting people and doing everything. Look, I had a rally that day. People walked past me. My microphone didn't work, so it's a good thing I didn't really have a rally. But they had me on paper. If the FBI wanted to come get me, they could come get me. But no, I didn't commit any crimes. Just like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people of January 6th were not insurrectionists. We were just there for peaceful protests. We're protected under the Constitution. And there was just a lot of people there. And so you can't let a little handful of extremists dictate the rest of everybody out there. And so, you know, what we have, 400 people was possibly arrested? I mean, I had never seen that many people. I went to the March for Life. And that was huge. A huge amount of people came. But when I turned around and saw I swear it was like almost 1 million people there. It just, as far as I can see. But I'll also tell you this, they want to blame Trump and Trump's rally. Well, when they released the people from Trump's rally, they started trying to march toward the Capitol. The police actually stopped them. They weren't even allowed to get to the Capitol. So those people didn't even get to the Capitol. And plus, they'd be tired. It was cold. It was 7 a.m. when they started it. I was just out there for like an hour freezing my hands off. There's no way they even had the energy to walk up there to cause problems. So Trump didn't do any of that. Trump didn't do anything wrong. You look at his Facebook thing, he says, respect the police, don't cause any problems. But yet they say he drummed up. You know, it's all set up, honestly. But if I run for office, I'm a representative of everybody, not just the Republicans, but also the Democrats and everybody. Anybody who is a sane American and wants to come to me and talk to me, and there's issues that we all side with. I've actually found out that people on the right, we have far-right extremists. We also have our mainstream Republicans who also get a little extreme. But then you have sane, regular American Republicans. Surprisingly enough, the Democrats, because I've got somebody who's working with the Democrats and she's a Republican, she has found out, this is in Michigan, she has found out that there are sane Democrats who are doing the same thing. They have to fight against extremist leftists like Antifa disrupting things, Black Lives Matter and other groups, extreme groups. Meanwhile, they have to fight with mainstream Democrats like Maxine Waters calling for violence. So they're sane Democrats on, sadly they're, or maybe good. They're sane Democrats and they're sane Republicans. And so those sane Americans actually work together for a better America. And that's the point. And when you go to Congress, it's not supposed to be only hang out with the Republicans, because you're never going to get anything done. And I'm not a rhino for talking to a Democrat to get something done. As much as they've conditioned you to hate AOC, I would probably go and talk to her. Some of the energy stuff she has can be done. We have to look we just had to do with the gas situation. We do have to figure out how to diversify our energy so we don't have these crises anymore. But yay! Woo! But at the end of the day, we have to come together, because I'm so tired of everybody calling for civil wars and the destruction of America. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Yes, we are going to be polarized. We're always polarized. It's left, right, middle. But we have to get together and we have to get things done. No issue is a Republican or Democrat issue. All issues can be worked out. Does anybody else want to come up here and talk? Because the mic is open. Whatever you want to talk about. You want to talk about the coronavirus or any situation. You want to talk about how hard it is that you're in school. Anything you want to do, microphone is open. But to encourage people, anybody can do this. It's very easy to get a permit. It's very easy to speak. Hey, go Cowboys! The Cowboys used to fight against the Washington football team. I'm glad we got a little people out today. All right, I've got the mic open in case anybody wants to come speak.
This is just going to be temporary. There's some more stuff that's going to be coming down the road, and we cannot go to sleep.
Yes.
Are you all listening? You cannot go to sleep. Just because King Cooper has lifted the mask mandate does not mean this fight is over with. I've been down here, every single protest down here where we've been talking about these mask mandates, we've been talking about these vaccines, we've been talking about the vaccine passports. Now, we've got a bill that's supposed to be on the floor that was H558. I'm sure all of you have heard of it.
Yes.
It's prohibiting the vaccines from being mandated in the state of North Carolina. That's also with your children, your teachers, and everybody else. Now,
558 was defeated. It's 572 now.
sorry?
558 was defeated. It's 572 now.
It's 572 now.
Yes, and
It's
it
still-
made it past the House. It's now in the Senate.
Is it still sponsored by Larry Pittman?
No, I mean he passed it on to the Senate, so
Okay.
it's past him.
Okay.
But
trying to
it,
pass
it
it on to
has
the
it's
private
very
corporations.
narrow reach, very narrow coverage. It does not have any protection for the private sector. Only.
Well, OSHA has covered that for them. Basically, the enemy stepped on their own landmine last week. So OSHA came out and said that if your employer mandates for you to get a vaccine as a requirement for employment, that it becomes, and you get sick, you die, you get injured from it, whatever, it becomes a recordable event for the employers.
Which means they can sue the actual.
Which means they can sue the employers. There's no protection for them. The enemy stepped on their own landmine. Hooray.
Because the pharmaceuticals cannot be sued for anything. They have no liability or responsibility if anything goes
No,
wrong.
there
you're
is
in
no.
jail.
EUA gives them complete immunity.
Yes.
That's not going to change. Even if the FDA turns around and they says that this has been approved, there's probably still going to be covered by Ping's cronies. But basically, this is my talking points when I came down here to the last protest we had down here a couple of weeks ago. So I and many other people agree with this bill, and we demand to be heard and voted upon for the simple fact that, number one, it is unconstitutional, both at the United States constitutional level and the state constitutional level, for you to mandate vaccines. This is my body, my choice.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
There are some people that believe that we should take an experimental vaccine against this virus and should be required to take it no matter what. That's our president. What's his new rule now? It's simple. Take the vaccine or wear a mask.
Forever.
How do y'all think about that?
That's nuts.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
There's been talk about people losing their jobs over refusal to take it. There's been talk about refusing services to people who refuse to take it. This cancel culture needs to stop now. It has no place in our state, it has no place in our country, and it has no place in our world.
Right.
Here are some of the reasons we reserve the right to our freedom of choice, and I'm sure you've heard many of them. Vaccines are not FDA approved. They do not know if these things will do. The pharma companies admit this openly. If someone dies or gets hurt by them, there is zero recourse because if they were released under the use of the EUA. That's Emergency Use Authorization Act. At least 2 of these vaccines have been under development for 10 years, and none have gotten approval. First, why was there work on a vaccine for a virus that supposedly didn't exist yet? Why were they working for something that didn't exist?
This is a plan.
Thank you.
Plandemics.
So, first. Secondly, these vaccines could not get approval because 10 years of work on the lab, animals with these vaccines produce what is called vascular wall thickening. If you're not familiar with what that is, think of it like this. It's a garden hose. And basically, when you get injected with these vaccines, it makes the insides of your blood vessels expand down to the point of a drinking straw. So that impedes the blood flow into your brain and all of the rest of the parts of your body that need that.
And now the virus that was localized only in the lungs is now being spread up to your brain. So now you will have brain hemorrhages and people will die from horrific brain problems.
Number of things.
This is now being spread throughout every organ in the body because it goes through the vascular system, which is now lined with whatever's in that virus.
It's a number of things. You're catching on.
I've been doing my research.
People are catching on. But even more importantly to that, those are all great points. But what's happening now is that they are starting to record that men are becoming sterile. Yes. Women are having miscarriages.
This is population control.
Women are becoming sterile as well.
Yeah, we all know this. Our challenge is to get the word out to everybody. That's the thing, you know.
We've seen that movie where men can't have babies and women can't.
People are dying from these vaccines.
Send it out and print it up. You know, links where to go. You should have a dozen links. You know, who to listen to, where to go.
People are dying from these vaccines. At last check, there was 9,000 people that have died within 16 days of taking it, and over 16,000 people are being injured by it. This is directly from the CDC VAERS database. This is just in the United States.
How many people did you say?
6,000. Actually, it's 4,000. I pre-checked my numbers. It's like 4,434 now.
The Texas committee meeting that happened last week, they were talking about how the VAERS is only at 4,300 and something, but that it's only less than 1% of the actual death count. Yeah.
Well, and they're also stating other things too. The CDC is also admitting that VAERS database is inaccurate.
They think that it's less than 1% of the actual death count, though. So it'd be more like 400,000.
Yeah. My question is, if these vaccines are supposed to be effective against this virus, then why are people catching it after they've been fully vaccinated?
Because they're not vaccines.
Thank you.
Yeah, but why are people so illogical? The mind control.
Yeah, Bill Maher just got the COVID. He's had both his vaccines. I thought they were effective.
Vaccines, by definition, are supposed to protect against getting the virus again by creating antibodies in your system. They clearly do not do this. People have the right to make their own decisions about taking medicine. If someone isn't sick, it doesn't make sense to take medicine for something. does it?
No, healthy people do not wear masks and do not take these vaccines.
Emphasize the fact that it's not medicine.
There is a 99.9% recovery rate from this virus among healthy adults. I've personally known at least 10 people that contracted it from all over the state and recovered from it just fine and are up walking around healthy right now, including my son.
And anyone who's
And
already
me too.
been exposed and had this vaccine virus should never take a vaccine to amplify their response to any exposure.
It's been made very clear that this is no more deadly than the flu. The other question we also had to ask, I knew this from day 2. I actually had forewarning that this was coming, and I tried to tell people. I knew it was coming a week to 3 weeks before, 3 weeks before it happened. And the question that I had to ask myself is, why did the government stop reporting the flu numbers all of a sudden? And I went back. I looked at what the COVID numbers were, and I went back 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and the numbers were exactly the same. Now, you want to force people to take medicine that they don't need, even though it's not medicine, as y'all say?
Because you're promoting fear. And
It's just the China flu.
To get people to obey the law.
It's tyranny.
And that's what the Nazis did.
It's
They
tyranny.
fear.
It's tyranny, and we all know what it is.
Yep.
I don't live in Nazi Germany, and neither do you. And these COVID passports that they're trying to push on us is clearly that. Show me your papers before you can get on an airplane.
Also, let's show you the facts so that we know that this thing is going to work and that it's actually effective and it's not going to hurt you.
I'm going to tell you all a little story. Just a second. So about a month ago, I went out to Seattle, Washington, and I was on an airplane. My trip out there was fine. I walked into the airport, did not have a mask on, nobody hassled me, nothing. I walked over to the terminal and was waiting to board my flight. This was on Alaskan Airlines. Went fine. All of a sudden, I had this lady walk up behind me and say, "Sir, can you put your mask on?" I'm like, "No, I'm not going to do it. I'm medically exempt. I have this thing I like doing called breathing."
Yes.
So got out to Seattle, and make a long story a little bit shorter. On my way back, we got on the airplane, and you know, the approved face coverings at the time where you had to have one of their surgical masks or even a gaiter, but it had to be doubled up. So I was wearing a gaiter, and it was doubled up. I was attacked by 2 flight attendants on that flight. First, the lady came up to me and told me that I had to wear a mask. I said, "I am wearing a mask." She said, "It's not approved." I said, "But why is the signs all over the airport saying that it is approved? Why are they putting it over the loudspeakers that it is approved?" And all she could say was, "Well, you need to pull it up a little further." So I'm going to get to a real good point here in a minute. 5 minutes later, I had a male flight attendant come up to me and start screaming at me in the aisle, saying, "You need to take one of our masks and put it on now, or I'm going to have you removed from the plane, I'm going to have you yellow carded, and you will not be able to fly with us again." I sat there and I did not respond to the guy. He held the mask out in front of me. I took the mask. And here's my thoughts on this. I had to get back home. The only way I was going to get back home was to put their poison on my face. I took the mask out of its package, I put it on my face, and I could smell the poison in that mask. When you're behind enemy lines, it's okay to put on the enemy's uniform to get out from behind enemy lines, and that's where I was. Now, my point to telling you this story was that there was a gentleman 3 seats ahead of me wearing the same exact gaiter I had on. I was spiritually attacked because for the rest of that flight, after they made me put that mask on, and the gentleman told me that, "Are you going to wear that mask?" And I just looked at him. He said, "Are you going to wear that mask? I need to get a statement of compliance from you." I said, "You better be happy I'm wearing it because you're not going to get my compliance." I was spiritually attacked that day. And this is the point that I'm making, is that this country has gotten away from its morality. It's gotten away from its love for people. And this is where we are now. We have groups in the United States that are promoting hate in our classrooms, making our children hate themselves, hate their country, hate their parents. And all I can say to that is, anybody in this crowd, and I'm sure there's nobody here that thinks this, if they get to your kids, you're next. We're all next. So remember, this bill that we have on the floor to stop these mandated vaccines, This is not over just because we have a free day away. This is just time off for good behavior, folks.
Just one more step to the next phase.
I also want to, I'm also up here because I want to announce that North Carolina has 2 bills on the floor right now. It looks like we may be going to fight for constitutional carry in this state as well. And I want to give a call out to Representative Pastor Larry Pittman for that. Go look it up. It's HB 254 and H 578. I'd like for you guys to give him a call and give him your support. Call your state legislators and your senators. Constitutional carry. Second A rights.
So what does it mean?
It means that you don't have to pay a coat tax to carry a weapon anymore.
You need to still get a permit?
No. You have to have a permit to buy the gun. That's unfortunately way up there in DC where they control that. But in order to carry concealed, you do not have to have a permit to do so. So that's all I have to say for today, folks. Came down here. I knew Pete was here. I know Pete. We went to the GOP convention together what was that, a month ago?
Yeah, about a month ago.
And I wanted to tell y'all that I love my country. And this discrimination that they're trying to put upon us has to stop, because this is what's coming. You're not going to be able to go into stores. You're going to have to get on public transportation, and you'll have to sit behind a glass cube under display. It's called medical discrimination. That's what we're looking at.
Got something to say to Cooper? It's right here.
And it's coming very fast.
I wish I had something to say to him, but I really don't.
How about we're watching them?
You know he's up in there wearing a mask. You know he's in there wearing a mask.
Take off the mask, Cooper! That's all I got, folks.
Does everybody here know who their state representative is? By name, who they are?
This man can tell you.
No, I can't, but everybody needs to know who they are. They need to make contact with them by email.
Good to see you. Thank you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Don't know who they are.
Okay, so just to piggyback, what's your name? Your last name? Okay, Mr. Marine said. So the other day, my mom, for Mother's Day, went to go see my grandma. And so just to piggyback off what he said, she was getting on the plane, and she had her mask on, and there was a lady behind her and had a 2-year-old special needs son. And he wouldn't put his mask on. He was special. He was 2. He was 2 years old. And so the flight attendant wouldn't let her get on, and she was wearing a mask. And so the flight attendant wouldn't let her get on the plane and kicked her off because her 2-year-old son would not put a mask on, and he was special. And then I have another story too. So at our church that we go to, my mom was talking to this lady, and she has another special needs son, and she has papers to document the fact that he is special needs from the doctor. And so as she was going to Harris Teeter, or it was Trader Joe's, either one.
Trader Joe's.
Yes, Trader Joe's. And so she was going into the store. She had her papers ready. She was wearing a mask, and I don't know if he was in his wheelchair or not, but so she came up to the guy standing by the door, and she showed him the papers to document, because there's a law that if you're medically not able to wear a mask, you don't have to wear it. And so the guy wouldn't let her in the door. He turned her away and said, "Go, you can't come in here. Your son's not wearing a mask." And she had the papers to prove.
Boycott Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
Also start shopping in groups. Yes.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. We are facing so much communism already. This is tyranny. It's ridiculous. She had papers to prove that he could not wear this mask, and he will get.
And you don't even have to prove it. The law, the ADA law, says you don't have to prove it. They did that to me last year, and there's video, I mean, McDonald's, I walk in, wasn't even thinking about it, wasn't trying to be non-compliant. It's hot outside. The car I was driving at the time had no air conditioning, and I'm sitting there dying of heat. I just wanted some sweet tea. And then they're like, the guy practically came out and tried to fight me over it, and then called the police.
You were in your car?
No, I was in the McDonald's. I was the only one in the McDonald's. The guy came behind the counter, up in my face, threatened to fight me, And I'm like, no, I've got borderline asthma. I can't breathe. I'm hot, you know. No, I got asthma too. They're making me wear a mask. That's nice. I mean, just you're denying me service, telling me to go through the drive-thru. It's not right.
Well, that's the beginning of the vaccine passport.
So I have another one. My dad was in Bojangles the other day. He's a home inspector. He owns his own business, small business owner. And so he was in Bojangles, and he was in line.
And everybody
this
has
lady, she was, I don't know if she was an elderly African American woman. And so I don't know what was wrong with her, but my dad was in line, and he was backed up. He was away, and so she's just yelling at him, like screaming at him, "You need to social distance! You need to back up!" And so he's like, he's just like, okay, so he's just trying to be nice, like maybe she has a bad day, so she backed up.
She was really worried about her health. Take notes on this.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
That's the truth.
It's so ridiculous. So, okay, so
But it was bow time.
He complies. He's like, all right, fine. And so he backs up, and then he walks up after he walks up to the counter to grab the stuff, and there's other ladies standing next to him. They're like 2 inches apart, right? They're just standing there, and the lady doesn't yell at either of them. Like there's a lady standing next to him, and she just lets it go. Like it was ridiculous. Like
So she targeted him.
yes, that's being a white male. It was ridiculous. It was so insane. Like the discrimination that we're facing. Oh my goodness. You want to speak? Are you up? Okay. Are you down there? Okay.
It's like an 8-point print.
In Congress, July 4th, 1776, the unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitled them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We who hold these truths self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted, Cooper, among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That is, we the people, not dominion machines. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on which such principles, and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transcendent causes or masks. And accordingly, all experience has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than the right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses, are you guys listening? But when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute disposition, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and provide new guards for their future security. Remember that.
Amen.
So I wrote this last month for a city council meeting. I titled it "Defending That Which Defends Me." In 1978, a document was produced. That document is the very framework upon which our country was built. This document was written to help preserve the Union and the freedoms for all that the Union represented. It wasn't perfect, but we have strived to reach that goal since the very foundation. Although injustice has been seen within our borders, we have pushed back against it. We have built a nation where individuals of all kinds can enjoy tranquility, knowing that the welfare is being defended and the blessings of liberty and prosperity are being secured. This very paragraph I just read to you was written to mirror the preamble of our Constitution, for I believe that each and every person here present believes in those ideals. That is why I come to present my concerns. In the last few years, we have seen a rise in anti-constitutional edicts. We have seen as authoritarianism has spread amongst our peoples, ideals that are determined to undermine all the work that has been put into making the United States of America the great bastion of freedom that it truly is. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. I came to the United States to seek out the fabled American dream. But here I stand, watching it go up in flames, long before it even has a chance to manifest. And like me, countless others who have come to the land of the free are watching those freedoms evaporate. There are many threats to our freedom. Cancel culture has become a modern-day inquisition. People are no longer allowed to express their opinion on matters in fear of repercussion. How can we better find a solution, a compromise, a happy medium if we shut down all attempts at speech? Every day we see on the news how brands and corporations, along with social media, news media, and even some politicians, paint an image of intolerance and, dare I say, hatred, insisting on violence, telling us to get more confrontational. This polarization is quickly becoming a social enforcement of ideas in such a way that creates a divide in the people. As Hispanic, I hope to shed light to our plight. As we all know, for the past year and a half, our world has been hit by a pandemic that has left our economy in shambles and our societal structure in near ruins. This has led to the accelerated development of multiple attempts to combat the pandemic. First and foremost, I will say, I am not an anti-vaxxer, nor I intend to criticize those who are, nor those who take the COVID vaccine. I believe in personal freedoms and bodily autonomy. If I may be allowed to quote the slang, your body, your choice. The reason I bring this up is the increase in talks regarding COVID vaccine passport in some areas around the world, more troubling within our soil. I am well aware that the Biden administration has said it will not implement a federal vaccination passport. However, it is working on the private sector to develop standards around such certification. Considering the latest news regarding vaccines such as AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson, it is not difficult to understand why some people may choose to wait and see. On top of that, it is worth noting that minority communities such as my own have experienced a shortcoming born from what could arguably be, at best, rush use of medical practices or at worst, experimentation. A form of national mandate or even a state mandate would disproportionately affect the minority communities like my own. It would mean that someone like me may never get a chance to visit home. It would mean that all the sacrifices that my family has done for this country would be for naught. It would mean potentially disenfranchising the second largest minority group in the nation. In this troubling time, I find myself looking back at our founding fathers, at their work and the aspirations for our future. I look at the Constitution as the beacon it will see us safely through the storm. We must preserve our rights and freedoms, for they are what allows us to grow and become better people. We must defend that which defends us. We must uphold the values that were left for us. We must uphold the promise that this is the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Amen.
Drop mic.
Don't drop the mic, I have to replace it.
Yours, so
I just bought it. Again, folks, my name is Peter Boykin. I'm here for the Worldwide Rally. I spoke earlier, wanted to make sure I had something to add. I will be editing this video a little bit later to include everything. But I just wanted to let you know that, again, I will possibly be running for U.S. Congress here in North Carolina. I think that with the climate that's been going on right now, we are tired of stuff-shirted politicians who don't really understand the plight of what's going on, who don't really, not knocking them for having, having funds or whatever and being able to take care of their bills and everything. That's great. That's the American dream. But I struggle like a lot of other Americans, especially with the coronavirus. And yes, I took advantage of the money we got, the 1% they gave us out of the trillions that they approved. But that's helped. But like other people out there, I've been cancel cultured. I have 2 master's degrees that I can't put to use. One, because the coronavirus will keep you from having those jobs. Two, the left will contact your employers and get you removed. I would not be able to do this if I had a regular job. I've lost one of my e-gigs lately because of my involvement in being documented in January 6th, where I didn't commit any crimes, but yet the person who documented doxed me, and I lost my job. But I still work, I still manage like everybody else. But as a congressperson, you're supposed to be a representative of all the people. That's all the people, not just the Republicans, not just the Democrats, all the people. Everybody who apparently is not extremist. You don't want to be a representative of that. So I've always fought against extremism on both ends, and I'll continue to do that. I've been controversial. People will talk about me, you know, I ran for office here locally, but I was told to run in a national position. There's going to be a large field, lots of names out there. I've got a lot to learn. Hopefully in the process, just like Donald Trump, in the process I'll become a politician, but not a mainstream politician. Not one of those people who forget how it is and what it is and who you're working with and what the struggles of everybody. I give one thing, and I know people might not like, but one of the arguments that even AOC made when she went in the White House was like, well, not White House, when she went into Congress was, I don't have any money to pay for an apartment. They don't give us any money. How am I supposed to afford this? I spent last night trying to figure it out. They don't even offer housing for Congress people. And they don't even actually really offer any kind of pension unless you've been in for 5 years. In today's climate, how are you supposed to like be in Congress and leave Congress and have a regular job anymore? Oh, that's wonderful. Is that what I got the front? Oh, so we got BLM and some other people coming over here.
All right.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Those are BLM down there.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Well, we'll have something for the stream. But we're here to fight against extremism. We've already had Antifa show up earlier, large crowd, who called me a cracker. And every other nasty
gay
word.
too when you
Yes,
are.
they call me gay. I call them a homophobe. They said they could be a homophobe because they're gay, and I said, well, I guess I could be a homophobe if I'm gay. I'm like, hey, we got common. We hate gays, right? But I don't hate people. I don't like extremism, and I fight against extremism. And one of your duties in Congress is to try to limit extremism and to follow the Constitution and our constitutional rights to freedom of assembly, freedom of peaceful assembly, and that's what we do. We're here for peaceful assembly. There's not a lot of people here sometimes. Sometimes it's just one person. Sometimes it's hundreds of thousands of people. They tend to freak out when hundreds of thousands of mostly peaceful protesters come to D.C. Even though a handful of extremists did ruin it. But those were all just Trump supporters. You had Antifa, you had Black Lives Matter posing, causing problems, getting us in trouble. And yes, Congress people were scared. I understand that. But I'm hoping that this coming year, once they figure out all the districts, once they figure out all the smoke's cleared, I'll have an open field of individuals I'll be running against. Some will be polished politicians. Some might be mayors. I've gotten when Mayor Salisbury might be running. You know, other people who are in the GOP that will, all over the place, you know, will be running. And here's going to be the poor man, myself, who's been trying to deter me not to run. Oh, it's millions of dollars to run for office. My question is, why is it $1 million to run for office? I think the original purpose of Congress...
Millions of dollars to run for a position which pays how much?
I think it's $174,000. It's...
Well,
it sounds like a lot.
Paid here in the state?
Not very good return on investment.
Yeah, you get paid $12,000 in this state because people are like, run for Congress here. I'm like, I can't afford to live off $12,000 bucks.
Hell, in Michigan, they offer them $44,000 plus a stipend, so it's actually a regular salary. And it's a real job. It is a real job. It's a 24-hour job that you're constantly marked. And when you leave office,
you got nothing.
Where are you supposed to work? You know what I'm saying? I have nothing to lose at this point. I've lost every job I've had. I can't really keep a regular job anyway, so my only recourse now is to run for office. And I do rallies, and I do speeches, and some people listen. But for me, if I got to Congress, guess what? I get the floor. I get the opportunity to be in Congress and actually speak.
You get the book.
And they got to listen when I'm in Congress. They got to listen to Maxine Waters, and they got to listen to all those other people. They're going to be listening to me. They got to listen to Marjorie. They got to listen to AOC. They're going to have to listen to Boykin. This is the summer of Boykin right now for me. And I do have people who go, you're just trying to get a name for yourself. You're just trying to grift. I'm like, everybody's trying to get a name for themselves. I mean, that's why everybody's on TikTok doing crazy videos. I could spend all day trying to get famous on TikTok, or I could spend all day trying to get famous saving this country. You can't get anywhere without people knowing your name. So I'm tired of this whole thing with people online going, you're spamming, you know. So what? I got to get my name out there. I'm running for office. What politician doesn't talk about themselves? Everybody loved Trump.
See, the thing
it
is
was
that
Trump, Trump, Trump.
The problem is that the good people are not running for office. Everybody should run for office.
Yeah, people should run for office.
Especially the good ones. You know, we don't want.
Yeah, I was reading into it. I do actually think Congress people, like DC itself, like I think Ted Budd put toward a bill that stated that, and I agreed because this was something I already thought of. You're not going to make DC another state. What you do is you take all those outside residentials and kick them back over to Maryland. They'll go over there. This certain area, District of Columbia, was meant to be District of Columbia. Nobody really supposed to live here. I think the only people that should be living in that area are government officials, and I think that a government official should have a stipend to stay there in DC without having to struggle and have a house in both places. So AOC was right on that. You should have a stipend to stay on campus. I learned about how Congress people are having to sleep in their offices on their couches because it's expensive. $174,000 sounds like a lot, but when you're talking about high prices here, high prices and having a house here and getting a house there, there goes your salary. You know,
paying rent.
You got to keep some of it. You got to squirrel some of it away, and they don't let you keep. They don't let you actually earn an income while you're in office. Which I also found out there's another reason why a lot of the Congress people actually invest in stocks and stuff, because it's kind of a loophole. I guess currency and
make
stuff. It's kind of a loophole. They can make some money. See, everybody wonders why these Congress people work so hard to try to like secure themselves outside of, you know, and strike deals, because no congressperson is going to be able to go back to work for Wendy's, you know, afterwards. I mean, who's gonna be able to go back to work in this nowadays after you've given your life,
you apply
your
for
service.
Job, you say, I served in Congress, now I want to work in Wendy's.
Right. I mean, celebrities, anything like that, you can't just go and work a regular job after that. So you do have to secure your future. I commend Ted Budd, because Ted Budd's only served 2 terms as Congress, and now he's running for Senate. He's actually risking his pension, because you got to serve 5 years to get a pension. So if he doesn't get elected, he would have to
goes back
run
to the
again
farm.
to get the 5 years. So I agree with the term limits and everything like that as well, to a point. But I do think that once you serve, you should get something when you retire for your service. But there's a lot of battle. I've got 10 communities, 10 counties to go make myself known in North Carolina.
Which district you're running?
Probably District 13. But then again, at the end of the year, they'll switch all the districts around. the reason why Ted Budd said I might as well run for senator.
Did
He
you
already
hear
gave
that
me 9 districts.
Speaker Moore is also getting ready to run for Congress?
Yeah, it's not easy to run, and yes, it takes some money, but I don't plan on spending a lot of money. We have a great man named Mark Robinson, a great man who's now our lieutenant governor, and he didn't have to spend millions of dollars to get up there. He spoke his mind. He got himself known.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm here. I'm going to continue doing rallies and doing events, and I'm happy that people came out. And I'm happy we got the crowd we got. Dealing with opposing viewpoints and view people and dealing with possible Black Lives Matter. And Black lives do matter, folks. White lives matter, Black lives matter, all lives matter.
So it's a branding
We
game,
all
you know.
matter.
I mean, it's like if they did care about the Black lives, they would care about the babies that are being killed in the womb, you know.
True. Yeah.
Because
Would you like to come up here and speak?
speak to who? To the public.
Yeah, we got. It's not live. This is the video. I'll put it on. I'll put it on live stream later.
Peter, I haven't heard you speak before, but I think that you're an eloquent speaker, you know, and if you also stay honest, I think that you have future. Because, in my opinion, the biggest problem, you know, when they're talking about rhinos or Democrats, this or that, you know, the problem is not the particular orientation of the people. The problem is the corruption. You know, people that are referred as rhinos are actually corrupt Republicans, and that's what we have to call them. Because the corruption is what actually destroys the root of all evil is money, and that's actually very true. So even if that person was honest at one point, you know, he has to pay back his loans with all the interest, and that's what is actually.
Me, at the end of the day, I just want to be able to make enough money so I can pay my bills and live a comfortable
yes,
life.
and still.
I'm not becoming a congressperson to get rich.
Still stays
you know?
true to your ideals, right? Because you don't want to be someone who has to do favors, you know, to get certain things done. And the reality is that right now the country is essentially sold to China, to the Chinese Communist Party, and this is terrible because the Chinese communists they're not only communists but the Chinese culture, you know, they don't accept any culture other than the Chinese culture. And if they become the new rulers of the world, or whatever you call them, they're going to make sure that everybody is a slave to them, and you're not going to get anything, you know, you're just going to be a surrogate that is providing them with the commodities and all the resources they need, you know, all the pork, all the rice, all the oil, you know, they don't care about you, you know, you're just going to be providing whatever they need, and they're going to produce all the technology. Even though I can tell you that probably the silver lining of everything is that the communism doesn't work. The communism is not creative, you know. Slave people do not create good stuff, you know. I mean, to give you a good example, you know, if you compare something produced in China and Taiwan, you know, these are exactly the same people, and you see the quality of one product produced in one country and the other. One of the products is produced by slaves, the other is produced by free people. And also, I mean, the creativity comes from the freedom. If you eliminate the freedom, like in China, you are not going to get anything done. You're going to, I mean, they're going to run out of places to steal ideas because free people are not creative people.
Great words. I mean, yes, China is a major issue. They do own a lot of our ports. They own a lot of our property. They own a lot in Australia, in our infrastructure. Now, I don't think that China's going to be marching in to attack us because we are kind of codependents at the end of the day. I mean, Walmart is nothing but a China surplus store. I think that bills should be put in order. This is the Congress-wise. Bills should be put in order that a store like Walmart will sell American-made products like they used to. Then yeah, we can offer them maybe a tax break on those products, half the tax or something. We need to encourage businesses to do the right thing.
These are the things that have to be done. Unfortunately, it has to be done. Because business is a cruel thing. Business is cruel. You have to make so much profit and everything else. But you have to encourage. But you can't just give people free breaks. You have to get something back. So I've always said in Congress what I would probably do is I'd probably try to enact. The government can't tell business how to operate, but the government could produce standards like less layoffs, more proper hiring, keeping your business here in America.
Or less pollution.
Yeah, less pollution. And in exchange, you get tax breaks and other things, and you get approved as a pro-American company or whatever. So you don't have to make them do everything. You do a checklist, and they can decide if they want to get that extra money. I say when it comes to food stamps, everybody should be allowed to get some kind of food. I mean, everybody should be eligible for that. Not everybody will take it, but we are in a nation where nobody should be hungry. Now, for me, I would make food stamps where you could only purchase American food brands. If anything, you could get down to those companies and you could say, if you want, it's the power of the purse, because state Walmart, they manipulate companies into doing what they want them to do because they sell in such a giant market. The government has the power, and I think Trump would agree, we have the power to negotiate because we are a huge the supplier would supply us, we can make deals. So we can tell them, well, if you want us to allow food stamps to be purchased with your products, this is how you should do with your company. You should treat your employees right, stuff like that. I'm not against unions, but there shouldn't really need unions if companies were done doing what they should do. Everybody says we should get $15 an hour, $20 an hour, $15 an hour. The problem is those companies like Amazon and everything, they're great companies that hire a lot of people. They give them $15 an hour, but they work them. They work them like work calls. They give them no kind of time off. I had one lady, when I was doing Uber, she got in my car. She said that she was sick. She used all her time. And then she had to go to work. She said she was still trying to recover, but she had to go to work. Still with the doctor saying you shouldn't go to work. Endangering her body because she didn't want to lose her job. She was also told me that if they got to work late by 5 minutes, and it was not even her fault because they don't have enough parking, if the bus got them late, they would dock their whole hour. They logged in and they would work for what? Working for free? They would dock their whole hour. But people wouldn't speak up because they're afraid to lose their job. That's not right. That's absolutely not right. That kind of corruption is not a right-left thing. That's what I want to do as a congressperson. I want to have more town halls, and I want to speak to people on the left and right and find out what is the issues. What are your issues in day? If you have a problem with the city, you need to understand you can report issues with the city, and the city can fix potholes and street lights and things. People expect the city just to know that. But I want to educate people, and I want to work toward the future. So that's all I want to do. And I thank everybody for coming out. We'll probably have a few people come in and trickle in and out. I will take all these videos and probably edit them together so it'll be a nice long string of videos. Glad people have come out and speak today, and it's always good to come out and speak and take the opportunities you have to let your word be known, and don't be afraid of Antifa and Black Lives Matter or any other extremist group. Just kill them with kindness, really. Just kill them with kindness and laugh. They're laughable most of the time. And if they get dangerous, hopefully the police will protect you. But thank y'all.
Because they only stay for the exact amount of time that
All right, folks. Thank you for tuning in to the rally. I'll probably repost if anything else goes on. I will post again, but we're just going to have networking time right now. So no speakers are coming up, and I'll pop in and live stream if we have anything else going for now. Antifa has left, so if they come back, we will definitely engage again. We thank you for tuning in. You go to Triad Patriots. We're on Telegram. And then pretty soon, boykinforhouse.com will be up. and I'll be running for office. Thank you for tuning in. All right, we'll talk soon.